Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So you guys are looking at my new to me, 2014 Toyota FJ Cruiser Trail Teams Ultimate Edition. And you guys don't know this, but this has been a long time coming. Ever since I sold my FJ Cruiser, you guys know I had two of them at the same time. My 2013 Trail Teams that I had, the cement grays. I legitimately never have missed or regretted selling a vehicle quite like the FJ, because I mean it is so special. And if you guys know me at this point, if you're going to try to buy a vehicle that's going to hold value and actually sustain value, potentially even go up in value, there is no better vehicle to buy than the FJ Cruiser, especially the Trail Team variants. And this one being the last year of the FJ Cruiser within the US, the Trail Teams Ultimate Edition, it's extra special, right? I mean, is it more limited? No, I think they all are right around that 2,500 produced each year of the Trail Teams. I'm just talking Trail Teams here. So they're all kind of equally rare when it comes to actually production. This one in particular, though, a lot of people kind of think of it as being more rare just because it actually has that the little placard, which I'll show you here. Many of you are familiar with it. The little placard here on the passenger side, it says one of 2,500 limited production. So that kind of makes it, kind of screams in your face that it is a rare vehicle. But I think technically speaking, the Sandstorm Trail Teams, the 2010 version of the FJ Cruiser Trail Teams, is the most rare, with right around 1,500. I'm not sure if that's totally confirmed, but I remember reading that a few times now. So I think that was technically even more rare than the Ultimate Edition here. Now, confession time. Calverley Blue, or Heritage Blue, is what this is called. It's essentially the same thing as Calverley Blue that you would find on the 2018 TRD Pros. This has never been a favorite color of mine. So let me kind of be honest about that. I think I do. I'm not going to say a thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat this video. I do think cement gray is a cooler color. I've always kind of gravitated to that a little bit more. But this, the main reasons why it really drew me was it is the last year. It is the Ultimate Edition, the best FJ Cruiser ever offered. Of course, of this generation, of this FJ Cruiser in the United States. So I like that from an exclusivity standpoint, and potentially going up in value if I were to keep it, of course. So when I had my last one, and I think I kind of hinted at this in a few of my videos before, Mrs. Untamed, my wife, she I don't call it that in real life, for the record. She was legitimately upset. She did not want me to sell that vehicle that day. If you guys remember, I sold both my Army Green 4Runner TRD Pro, my 2020, as well as that 2013 FJ Cruiser Trail Teams, the cement gray one. I sold them both to a dealership down in Colorado. So I kind of got like a sweet deal. They paid, I think, a really good amount for both of them. Admittedly, looking back at it, I think he paid, probably a little bit more than what I probably would have gotten for that FJ at that time. But as you guys know, used vehicle market is it's in a weird flux right now, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint where it would be at. But she did not want me to sell. Even that day, I was like, hey, they're willing to buy both of these if we drive them both down there and drop them off for them. They gave me $44,000 for my FJ, which had 22,000 miles ish on it, 23,000 miles at the time. And then they gave me $49,500 for my Army Green 4Runner TRD Pro, which, when I say that out loud right now, which I would have never guessed this happening, is really low for that 4Runner, right? Because nowadays you could sell that Army Green 4Runner TRD Pro for easily 55, 58, even to outlets like Carvana, Vroom, CarMax. Even they are paying over MSRP, which is a little crazy, right? But nobody would have, hindsight's 2020, nobody would have ever saw that coming. So I still feel pretty good about the 44 that I sold that the FJ for. Now this, let's talk numbers. I'll be transparent with you guys. They wanted, when I say they, an Audi dealership in Lexington, Kentucky, of all places. Lexington, Kentucky. If you guys remember, I bought my Land Cruiser in Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, and then this is just literally like an hour and a half north of where I bought my Land Cruiser from. Kind of funny. Something about these states, I guess. Anyways, an Audi dealership was asking $51,200 and some change, right? So just over $51,000 they're asking for it. And you know me at this point, many of you do, I will not buy a vehicle unless I know for a fact I can get a good deal on it. And like, if I can't negotiate with them, I get, maybe prideful perhaps, and I don't buy it. And I know many of you are like me in that sense. But this one, I paid $51,000 exactly for it. And admittedly, before, that was even before they tacked on, I think it was $600 or $500 documentation fee, which I never ever pay those. But this was one vehicle that I felt like, hey, it's not worth being, trying to weasel out of a few $100. It was an amazing vehicle. These don't pop up every single day. If you want a sweet FJ Cruiser Trail Teams Ultimate Edition with very low miles, you gotta fork over the bills for it. And even then, at $51,000, $51,500, $700, what it ended up being, I still felt like this was a really, really good deal. Now, I should have opened with the mileage before actually talking numbers, because some of you are probably already taken to the keyboard. What? You can get them for 40 something. This one has 5,600 miles on it. So just under 6,000 miles. Did I say that right? Yeah, so 5,600 miles. So just under 6,000 total, which is super, super low, of course, for being a 2014. I would be lying, though, if even as I was flying out here, I've been so excited, because technically I bought this about a month and a half ago, but for various reasons, work reasons, I couldn't fly out and come get it. So this was in the works for a while. But even getting on the flight to come out here, a part of me, and I'm honest when I say this, a part of me kind of not regretted, but a part of me was like, gosh, I wonder if I should have maybe pursued a new Bronco instead, right? Because you can get a freaking sweet brand new Bronco, which is essentially the same thing, which will probably even be more capable than this, right? Will it be more reliable? Probably not, but it'll be more capable. The interior is awesome. Exterior is a design marvel, just like this, I would argue. Should I have gotten one of those? And that's kind of tough, especially when you're talking the same price point ish, right? I mean, we're going to spend a little bit more for that Bronco, the one that I would want. I was going to probably spend another $7,000 for the Bronco. But you're getting a brand new vehicle, and even the interior on them is super simplistic, but with modern technology on the Broncos. Whereas this one is, extremely simplistic, and, it feels dated, it feels old, with like the center infotainment. It's just rubber everywhere. But again, if you get it, you get it. That's a part of the appeal with the FJ. So I'll hop in real quick, and then we'll kind of wrap up the video on the outside with a kind of more of a thorough walk around on it. So like I was saying, it does not get any more simplistic than this, right? I mean, you just got plastic rubber. This is more rubber right here. This Tonka truck handle. This is just hard plastic up here. And I hate when people say this, like car reviewers, like, oh yeah, they designed it so you can spray it out when you're done. Okay, I don't know. I will never be spraying out my FJ Cruiser here, but perhaps some people have, and props to you if you do. But they did kind of design it with that mindset, at least maybe kind of that mindset, right? This is all a rubber vinyl flooring. Even underneath the rubber floor mat is all rubber. So it's hard to get this dirty and actually have it stay dirty without a little bit of TLC to keep it perfect. So here's your number plaque, 1 of 2,500. I do think it would have been a little bit cooler if it actually had the number of the vehicle, like, hey, this is number 184 of 2,500. I think that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, c'est la vie. So this is, again, just plastic and rubber. Even the internal lines don't line up. They don't even make an attempt to kind of bring all the doors and front dash together. It was just it's kind of slapped in here. For the interior, on all the trail teams, they had matching color interior. So like for example, the Radiant Red in 2012, if I recall. So 2012 Radiant Red has red seats right within here where you see gray. Everywhere you see gray is where they had red. So this right here was red. Same goes for the Army Green. Same goes for the Sandstorm of 2010. I'm very happy that they kept it with the gray here. This is exactly what the cement gray 2013 FJ Cruiser Trail Teams look like on the interior, and I'm very happy with that. Minus this. Normally speaking, they have just a yellow Trail Teams badge there, which looks equally cool, right? But everything else is identical to the cement gray. You got your roll pitch gauge there, temperature compass, which is really cool. This is super unique. But I can see people getting in this at the time and being like, okay, it's kind of chintzy here. You get the little side hatch suicide door, if you will, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, obviously it's not ideal for the kiddos. This isn't going to be super spacious by any means. The 4Runner is going to be better, of course, being a true 4-door. But there's something to be said about that. Especially if you recline that front seat forward, you know, your kiddos can easily get in because there's a good entry point. You know, there's no doorway blocking them for them to actually, if that makes sense, right? There's just like huge opening for them to go into. Granted, they won't have the best leg room. That's kind of the bummer, right? Here's more of that sea of plastic. Won't totally beat that to death. Show you the steering wheel there. Again, super simplistic. Just your audio controls there, changing the channel, the mode, and your Bluetooth. Got Bluetooth here on the right hand side. And I love the fact, it's crazy that I've gotten so used to it, but because I've had so many Toyotas, I've gotten used to it. I think Subaru is the same way. I'm sure other vehicle manufacturers are, but I love that the cruise control is right there. I've gotten so used to using it like that. So like, I've driven, I drove my dad's truck recently, and just driving that, like trying to learn, it's a Chevy, trying to learn like where everything is at, just takes a few minutes. All right. We'll open up the back hatch here. There's your Trail Teams badge, and this is normally the same exact badge that you would have on that passenger side there, like where the one of 2500 is. These are the original KOs that came on them, of course. And, of course, this one's brand new, being a spare. But, exactly what you'd... I love these wheels. Or I'll geek out about them in a second. But type of treadwear as you'd expect for a 5,000 mile rig. Granted, they're getting kind of old, so I might consider swapping out for KO2s. We'll see. All right. The sea of rubber and plastic continues, but it is awesome. I think it might have been an option, even for the Ultimate Edition. I'm not sure, actually, but you get that big subwoofer right here, which is, I don't know, kind of tacky looking in today's day and age of tech. But as you can see, really good shape, a little bit of wear there, the lines, but really good shape. So again, finding them in this kind of condition and that kind of mileage is just getting super difficult to do these days. If you pop this out, you can lock it. So if it gets windy and all that stuff, or if your kiddos want to bump into it or try to swing it shut while you're pulling groceries out, whatever, they can't. This is you locking it. And just by popping it back in, I've I guess unlocked it, if you will. So we'll shut this. I tell you what, I love this thing. Like just nothing. I mean, very few things. Of course, I talked about the Bronco already, but this is such a design marvel, right? I mean, and they launched, I think, back in 2007, 2006. Auto show, Chicago Auto Show, I believe. Don't quote me on that. One of the auto shows, they kind of launched it as not really a serious option of something that they're going to pursue, but because of the reaction of the general public, people loved it. And they're like, heck yeah, we need to get this from Toyota. And then, of course, Toyota heard the reaction of the people and delivered the product in a very shortened timeline. And I think it's actually sooner than that. I think it was like 2003, 2002. Because I think they took like 4 or 5 years, 3 years for it. All right. Just some more of the controls here. There's your driver's side. And I love looking at videos of 2014 FJ Cruisers, and just FJ Cruisers at large. All the videos seem like they're from, they seem like they're from like the late 90s based off the video quality, but obviously they're not. They're just from like a few years ago, but they all seem like really old videos. Anyways, I love this little jump box here, super unique to the FJ Cruiser, of course. Closer look at the steering wheel. And this is where the simplicity shines, is with these 3 giant knobs that aren't going to distract you as you adjust it. The temperature, the mode, fan speed, and all that stuff. I love that. And I never thought that would be something that I would grow to love. And perhaps I'm just becoming an old man, but that is really cool to me. Of course, this is your time right there that you can adjust with 2 little buttons. But this right here is what I'm kind of talking about when, it's simplistic, but it's really showing age. This little bit here, this little infotainment radio, CD player, like this on the Bronco, it's just like a super flush, flat screen, and it just blends in perfectly with the dash. It's just, looks super premium and simplistic. I'll get off that. Little smudge on it there, as you see, but traction control, rear parking assist, will beep at you as you get close to things, and then of course automatic transmission. That's what we have here with the 4-wheel drive control there. And there's the back seat again. Oh, and didn't show the crawl control. There's our crawl control with the A-track and rear center diff lock. Love that. And here's the seat controls, and here is the funky fresh 1997 Toyota key fob. How about that? So I'll fire it up real quick. I'll show you the mileage and the sweet reverse camera. All right, so yeah, just over 57 now. So I'm, like I said, I'm making my way over to our new house in Maryland, where I'll leave it. I'll park it there with the Land Cruiser and 4Runner and fly back to Washington. And we'll be reunited with it here the next week and a half or so. So you guys have all seen this before. I'm just kind of geeking out with you at this point. There's that tiny little integrated reverse camera that pops up in your rearview mirror, which is pretty fun. What is it, like a 2x2, 2x3 if you will. I love it. I think it's cool. Turn that off. Trying to think what else. We'll pop the hood for fun, as it has struts, and I'm actually able to. A lot of bugs in Kentucky. How about that? All right. Let's see if I can do it with one hand, team. This is that trusted 4-liter V6, same exact engine that you get in the modern 4Runner, the 5th gen 4Runner, and it also has the same exact 5-speed automatic transmission. This does come in a manual transmission, you guys know, but yeah, I prefer this being automatic. Not to mention it's just easy, and the fact that my wife could potentially drive it if she'd like. She's always able to do that. I've not taught her how to drive manual. I guess that's a husband fail. I'll shut this. I love that the front end pays homage to the FJ40, the Land Cruisers of old, with the white surround of that grille. I think that's really cool. But I also think it's super cool that the previous iterations have blacked out surround right there, whereas normally it's silver on the non-Trail Team variants, right? On the Trail Teams, this is kind of some 411 for you, for the folks who don't know too much about them. So normal non-Trail Teams and non-Trail Team Ultimate Editions have a silver right here, silver surround for the grille. What else? I think even this. You think this is even silver? The top, and most notably, forgive me, the top has a white top instead of a monotone. Only the Trail Team variants came with a monotone color. So otherwise it's white from here upward. And the idea is, you know, if you're out in the open, you know, in a hot day, out in the desert, whatever you're doing, it'll keep the vehicle cooler on top. These wheels are, of course, unique to the Trail Teams Ultimate Edition. This variant, this color of these wheels were only offered on the Ultimate Edition here. And all Trail Teams came with the KO1s tires, BFG Goodrich KO1s. I think these look sweet. But I also really like the black ones that came on the 2010 and the 2013. Not so much the TRD wheels that came on, like the Army Green, the Radiant Red. I didn't really like those ones as much as this. One thing's cool, I don't have the key, it's actually still running, of course, but just by popping this and holding it to the right, you can unlock or pop this, so it'll pop outward, and then you can pull up the entire thing. So if you got the pups with you, you can keep them in the back there and get some nice fresh air. This one is spec'd with the TRD exhaust, catback exhaust. So I guess $750 option, $800 option, but I think it's great as it will match the 4Runner. Trying to think if there's anything else I missed. I'm sure there's a couple things. Of course, you got the roof rack for the Trail Teams, and the rock sliders there on the side, as you can see. One thing that was a pleasant surprise is it did come with the paint protection up front. So from here forward, even up here, it does have paint protection. Even on my drive here from Kentucky out to Maryland, I was a little nervous that, you know, being on the freeway for that long, I mean, I was gonna maybe soak up a couple more chips, and nobody wants to get a few more rock chips from day one on your vehicle. But it being the FJ Cruiser, the most notorious thing, among the most notorious things, is just how flat, straight up and down this windscreen and windshield is. So because of that, it is very much prone to getting rock chips as you're driving down the freeway. So it's pretty common to see these with chipped and cracked windshields. Another cool piece, again, this is me just kind of FJ geeking out with some of you, but you got 3 windshield blades, windshield wipers, unlike most vehicles, with 2 of course, but it's because it's so small. So the actual height of the windshield is pretty small. So if you only had 2, you'd only be sweeping or swiping, you know, not even half of the entire windshield. So you needed 3 to actually cover that mass. You got your candle lit light on the mirror there. All right, guys. I know I have made this video extremely long, but I'm super excited to get this. I will keep this one longer than my last one, which is 6 weeks, I guess. It was a little bit longer than that, but I really do hope to keep this one longer. When it comes to, you know, buying one that's for good resale and down the road, and still being able to drive it quite a bit and sell it for what I paid, maybe for a few years down the road, this is the safest bet. So let me know what you guys think. You can tell me the truth. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is it does have the TRD skid plate. This came on this Trail Teams Ultimate Edition, whereas it did not come on the previous Trail Teams. Also has an upgraded suspension compared to the previous Trail Teams too. Minor upgrade there. So anyways, but yeah, let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you would have gotten the new Bronco, maybe like the first launch edition, first edition one, Badlands. Yeah, you can get a pretty awesome Bronco for what I paid for this, or at least close to it, right? So let me know if I made the right decision. At any rate, I appreciate you guys watching as always. Until next time.